I almost didn't know what I wanted to say. I was almost scared.
From the very first second this story broke, the internet froze. Selena Gomez, usually calm, collected, and reserved, finally broke her silence in a way that shook everyone watching. She had carried something heavy for years, something she never wanted to say out loud. But in a recent emotional moment, she finally opened up about what had been haunting her. Tears filled her eyes, her voice shook, and the words she spoke left the world stunned. She wasn't just talking about herself, she was talking about Justin Bieber. And in the background of every detail she revealed, one name echoed louder than the rest: Diddy.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
He got me a Lamborghini.
Well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
This moment was unlike anything fans had seen from Selena before. She wasn't on stage singing, she wasn't promoting a project, and she wasn't playing a character on screen. This was raw, this was personal, and the weight of her confession revealed something chilling about what Justin went through as a teenager in the entertainment industry. For years, Justin Bieber's rise to fame seemed like a fairy tale. A boy from Canada posting videos on YouTube, discovered by Scooter Braun, flown to Atlanta, signed by Usher, and skyrocketing into superstardom. But what Selena exposed makes that fairy tale look more like a nightmare.
Flown out to Atlanta by a manager. His name's Scooter Braun. Flown out to Atlanta just to meet with him and meet different producers and different people. I was actually going to meet Jermaine Dupri at his studio. And who rolls up? Usher in his Range Rover. Rolls up, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And Scooter was like, "Yeah." And so I ran up to him and I was like, Usher, I love your songs. You want me to sing you one?" And he was like, let's just go inside, little buddy. It's cold out. So the politest possible way he could say no, he did. And I was like, wow, he just turned me down. And I was a little disappointed. He had to go into a studio session, so I was like, whatever. And a week later, he actually watched my videos with my manager and was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I let him sing? So flew me back to Atlanta where I got to meet him again. And he wanted to sign me. But there was something else.
Justin Timberlake, right?
Yes, Justin Timberlake also wanted to sign me. It was like kind of like, what happened was Justin Timberlake and Usher both went into a ring and boxed it out. And the outcome was Usher. I think it was a TKO.
They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of fucking asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak off, is he a good guy? It's especially considering what happened to him, especially considering that he sat Howard Stern and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's flavor camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours.
And then you have them come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
So you were all sitting in a room somewhere?
We were in a room.
Yeah.
And I showed her the video. And Perry says, are you crazy? You better get down there and meet this kid right now. He's amazing.
When all these pics come out and all this stuff with Bieber's big penis, are you the mastermind behind that? Say, listen, show off your big penis and people will come to those concerts. Or are you sitting there?
Is that the kind of managing he's doing?
Usher, are you sitting down with him and saying, yeah, show your or leave it in your pants? I mean, do you sit him down and say, look, part of this is PR,
Hey,
man.
by the way, he does have a brain of his own.
Yeah, but were you shocked at the size of his penis?
Hey, listen, he has a mind of his own. What he chose to do with his penis is his prerogative. He's managing that aspect of his life.
But Usher, is somebody...
I have nothing to do with Justin Bieber's private part.
She began by describing the early days when Justin was just a kid chasing his dream. She remembered the excitement, the joy, and the innocence, but she also remembered the moments where the joy disappeared. Selena revealed how Justin would sometimes go quiet out of nowhere, how certain names made him freeze up, and how he would avoid talking about specific people. One of those names was always Diddy. The internet immediately brought up a disturbing video from 2009. In it, Diddy looked directly into the camera and bragged about Justin spending 48 hours with him. At the time, people brushed it off as a joke, a quirky soundbite, but Selena said what everyone now realizes, it wasn't funny. It was chilling. Justin was only 15 years old. Selena said she remembered how Justin never wanted to talk about that trip, how he changed afterward, and how even hearing Diddy's name seemed to make him uncomfortable. The smile on his face when the cameras were on was gone the moment they stopped rolling. Selena admitted that people around her warned her to stay out of it. It's not your business, they told her. Don't go there. But deep down, Selena knew something wasn't right. She saw the fear, the hesitation, and the walls Justin built around himself whenever Diddy was brought up. She carried that guilt for years, never saying a word until now. This wasn't about fame. This wasn't about publicity. Selena's tears and trembling voice proved that this was about truth. She didn't have to go into every graphic detail, and she didn't need to point fingers. The pain in her voice said enough. Something happened to Justin during those years, and Diddy's name kept surfacing every time. What makes Selena's words even more powerful is the timing. Diddy is currently facing lawsuits, FBI raids, and a tidal wave of accusations from people who have stayed silent for too long. His carefully crafted empire is crumbling piece by piece. The man once celebrated as a mogul, a businessman, and a mentor is now being painted as something much darker. And Selena's emotional moment added fuel to the fire. Because this wasn't an anonymous source. This wasn't a hidden lawsuit. This was Selena Gomez, the beloved star, the global role model, the woman who loved Justin Bieber during his most vulnerable years. Her words carried a credibility that couldn't be ignored. When she said that Justin seemed haunted by something he couldn't talk about, the world listened. When she connected his discomfort to Diddy, the world stopped. For years, the entertainment industry protected Diddy. He was untouchable. His power, his wealth, and his influence created a shield around him. Companies aligned with him. Collaborators stayed loyal, and critics stayed quiet. But now that shield is cracking. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit opened the floodgates. Others stepped forward with disturbing accounts. The FBI raided his homes. And suddenly, the perfect image he built began collapsing. Selena's confession was the breaking point. It wasn't an attack. It wasn't an accusation. It was an observation, a heartbreaking truth she had carried in silence. But in today's world, that silence has finally been broken, and the ripple effect is massive. Let's go back to that infamous 2009 clip. Diddy looked into the camera and told the world that Justin was spending 48 hours with him. He even called it a 15-year-old's dream. At the time, the crowd laughed, but now, the context has changed. Now people are asking why a grown man felt comfortable announcing that he had a teenage boy in his care for 2 days. Why did Justin look so uneasy when asked about it later? And why did he never want to talk about it again? Selena revealed that Justin often shut down emotionally when Diddy's name came up. He would say, "It's nothing. I'm fine," but she knew better. She saw the fear in his eyes. She saw the hesitation in his words. And she knew that whatever happened left a mark on him that never fully went away. Selena didn't just share this to get it off her chest. She shared it to send a message, to say enough is enough, to challenge the industry that has protected men like Diddy for decades. She may not have laid out every detail, but she didn't need to. The power of her tears and the weight of her words carried the truth. And the world noticed. Fans flooded social media, praising her bravery. Commentators pointed out how her quiet moment hit harder than any lawsuit or headline. Because this wasn't a lawyer speaking in a courtroom, this was Selena Gomez, one of the most respected names in entertainment, saying out loud what many had whispered for years. Meanwhile, Justin Bieber has remained quiet. He hasn't directly spoken about Diddy, but his team did release a statement. They clarified that Justin is not one of the plaintiffs, but he stands with those who were hurt. That statement alone speaks volumes. In a world where silence often protects the guilty, Justin's subtle acknowledgement made it clear. He knows. As all of this unfolds, Diddy's world is collapsing. The companies he built are distancing themselves. His former collaborators are staying silent or even condemning him. The FBI raids shook his empire. Court documents and sealed files are piling up. And now, even pop culture icons like Selena Gomez are adding their voices to the storm. The truth is no longer hidden. The silence is no longer protecting him. And the legacy Diddy spent decades building is crumbling in real time. Selena's tears weren't just about Justin. They were about every young star who was promised the world but handed trauma instead. They were about an industry that looked the other way for too long. And they were about the courage it takes to speak up, even years later. Because the truth always finds its way out. And thanks to Selena, Justin's story is no longer buried. It's out in the open where it always belonged. The fall of Diddy isn't just about one man losing everything. It's about an industry being forced to confront its darkest secrets. It's about asking who enabled him, who stayed quiet, and who profited from protecting him. And it's about making sure that silence never wins again. Selena Gomez didn't just speak for herself. She spoke for Justin. She spoke for the victims who may never find the courage to come forward. And she spoke for a generation demanding accountability. The world is watching as Diddy's empire crumbles. The lawsuits, the raids, the confessions, they're all adding up. And now Selena's words may be the final push that sends his legacy crashing down. Her bravery proved one thing. Even the quietest voice can change everything. And in this case, Selena's as a voice may have been the loudest of all,